Victor with USA SPEC. We're going to be doing our #1 blind spot detection system, the BSM200. As you can see, we have it right over here. What I want to walk you through first is the preliminary test you guys want to do before even installing anything in the vehicle. And all you have to do is connect the module to the OBD2 wire. You got to connect the 2 sensors and you got to connect the 2 LEDs. Once you have those things plugged in, you want to add power and ground. Let me show you what we're talking about over here. We opened up the package. And so as you can see over here, we have the 2 sensors plugged in. We have the module right over here. Literally, we just pulled everything out of the package and we have all the plugs plugged in, the LEDs. We have the OBD2 wire over here. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you guys what's gonna happen here is, like I said, I pulled the package the parts right out of the package, and I haven't straightened anything out. I just plugged the stuff inside the module. The only thing we're doing is we're connecting the 2 sensors, right? It doesn't matter which one's which at this point. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect our OBD2 connector here, right there. We're gonna go to the OBD2 plug in the vehicle, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the car. What you're looking for as far as OBD2 data goes, you're looking to make sure that the 2 LEDs light up and that they both turn off. And once you get that part going, then that means you're ready to do the install. There's full compatibility between the BSM200 and the vehicle you're working on. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so here we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plug in our OBD2 connector. We're gonna go straight into the OBD2 plug of the vehicle. All right, so once that's plugged in, what we're gonna do is, without even starting the vehicle, we're gonna go ahead and apply power to our module. So as you can see, we have both LEDs on, and one of them is staying on. So this would mean that there's limited compatibility because of the light I'm trying to show you here. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand. So one of the LEDs is staying on. Justice has applied power to our module there. And so because the car is off, one of the LEDs is staying on because the bus hasn't turned on yet. So here's what I'm just trying to get these LEDs straightened out for you guys. All right, so as you can see, that one's still on. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car. So once that the vehicle has started, the LED that is on should turn off. All right, it's still staying on. So what you want to do now is, go ahead, there you go, it turned off. So it took a few seconds for the data bus to start running and for the module to communicate. And again, the wires are still kind of tangled up over here. They're still wrapped up. But the only thing we did was we hooked up the OBD2 plug that went to the OBD2 plug of the module. The LED and the buzzer is here, and then the power sensor cable, which is what's ran all the way over there to the sensors and to power. So now that we're here, Justice, can you grab the sensors and put them? Justice, now that we're here, can you grab the sensors and put them on the seat for me, please? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the sensors right here. We're gonna take it one step ahead. Justice is gonna go ahead and apply power to the yellow wire, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna make the system think that the vehicle is now in reverse. So whenever I swing my hand to the sensors and go like this, what happens is the system beeps and the LEDs light up. That tells you that there's nothing keeping the system from working in this vehicle. Let me try that again. See that? I'm gonna now light up the LEDs. You see that? So that should tell you that it's full compatibility. You can now proceed with the installation. Then guys, we'll be right back and we'll give you some more info on the installation on this 06 Corvette. All right, so you do have to remove the back bumper on the vehicle. We have already started doing that, but it's fairly simple in these vehicles. There's I think it's a T, I'll tell you right now. It's it's a T15. So it's a 15 Torx, 15 that you need to remove those screws from each tail light. And what we recommend is when working in a vehicle like this one is keep your lights in order so that when you go put them back in, you don't put this light in this hole or that light in this hole. So keep them in order. We've numbered them. We have the 3 lights just kind of sitting over there. They have a sticker on them with a number on it. So we kind of want to do that, similar to this one over here. And so you want to start there because eventually you want to gain access to the screws that are holding the bumper in place inside of the vehicle. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so we have the bumper completely removed from the 06 Corvette. We're gonna go ahead and share a link with you guys that we found so that you can go in and see how the bumper gets removed from this vehicle. But one of the things we wanted to show you when it comes to installing the blind spot detection sensors is, in this particular case, one of the things we wanted to look for I'll show you right now. One of the things we wanted to look for was we want to make sure that wherever the sensors are going to mount, this happens to be the passenger side. So wherever the sensors are going to mount, we want to make sure that, for example, this is where the tail lights are. This is the aluminum subframe back here. And so I'm going to show you the bumper so that you guys can see what I'm talking about and some of the things to pay attention to before mounting the sensors. Ultimately, what you're looking for is you want to make sure that there's going to be no metal either right next to the sensor or nothing that's metal related on the bumper that could possibly be in front of the sensor. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Bumper, and what I was trying to tell you guys is that, for example, if you take a look at the bumper, this is where the tail lights are. The aluminum subframe starts right around this area right here. So the only area you have to work with is between here and about right over here. And you gotta be very careful because some vehicles are gonna have the parking sensors or the backup sensors on the bumper. And you gotta pay attention to make sure that those sensors are not gonna be right in front of the blind spot detection sensor. Otherwise, those parking sensors are gonna get detected by the blind spot detection sensor and you'll get false alarms and you'll think that something's wrong with the system, and that's not really the case. So I want you to take a look at the bumper here, right? Once we got it taken apart and we had to jack up the car, we did remove the rear 2 tires just so that we can gain access to the bolts that are holding the bumper from the inside of the plastic liner. I'll be right back and I'll show you the assembly for the sensors right before mounting them. So these are the brackets that are gonna come inside the package. Sometimes they come pre-assembled, sometimes they don't, but ultimately what you're gonna get is something like this. This bracket has already been assembled, and I want you to pay attention to the way they are put together. You can see the pictures on our website, but these 2 legs, this part and this part, is designed to go against the car body. In this area right here, this cross brace right here is where the sensor is gonna mount, right? For example, like this. This is how the sensor is going to mount to the brackets. Okay, we're going to be removing these screws from over here, and these are the ones that are going to go through the mounting ears of the sensor. And ultimately, you're going to have a sensor that's going to go on the car, something like this. Okay, so I want you guys to pay close attention to how the brackets are mounted. Sometimes we see people who haven't used these brackets correctly. So you're going to get, again, you're going to get 2 of these cross braces. You're gonna get 4 of these short ones, and you're gonna get 2 of these longer legs, because what happens is sometimes some car bodies, they contour inward as the body goes down, and so we want to be able to give you, just in case you needed additional length on either side of the mounting brackets, you can put it either on this side or you can put it either on this side. This is just to give you more flexibility when it comes to mounting it. You know, sometimes the car body is going to contour to where this is going to be at the top, this is going to be at the bottom, because the body contours this way. And so this is going to help you keep the sensor in a more leveled situation. So we're gonna put the sensor on these brackets, and then we're gonna go ahead and start working on mounting these brackets and sensors to the car body. We'll be right back. All right guys, so after analyzing the brackets and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what some of the things you have to do to sort of make sure that everything is gonna work well in the vehicle. We're gonna have to do it a little different in this particular vehicle because ultimately we don't want to mount it to the fiberglass of the vehicle and do this. We don't want to rely on the fiberglass. We want to be able to have an anchor point to our sensor. So what we are going to end up doing is, as you can tell, we're going to be mounting our bracket like this in this particular vehicle, right? We're going to make our anchor point down here. This is what's going to hold it in place. This is going to be our anchor. We're going to use a bolt and nut with a washer section over here so that we can go through here and be able to access it on the inside of the car over here for additional stability. Because if all you do is mount to the bottom, then you have the risk of the sensor vibrating, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that your sensor is going to be bolted down, you know, strong, and it's not going to move. So ultimately, this is what we're going to do. Once it's bolted to here and it's bolted to the bottom, we're going to be able to give our sensor the angle that we need in order to be able to get the right position. This is just to give you guys an idea, and see, this is why the long bracket is necessary, because if we only included the short ones and we wanted to do that, the short ones wouldn't reach, even if what we wanted to do is what I'm explaining to you right now. So this is how you can make use of the brackets that we include. You don't have to fight with having to glue the sensors to the inside of the bumper cover, or having to figure out your own way to mount it. No, the brackets are included for you to make use out of them. Every vehicle will be different, but these brackets will definitely help you in every situation.
Filled out?
Ask Bob.
Catch me a little closer right here. All right guys, so ultimately what I wanted to show you was how we had to anchor our bracket. We anchored it to the actual aluminum subframe over here, and we used a bolt with a lock washer and a nut on the inside so that you can grab a lot of the area over here, as you can see. So it's a lock washer, and now the only thing we haven't done is we haven't tightened up this particular screw because we still need to give our sensor the angle. So, but besides anything else, you know, this bracket is on there very well, and it's not gonna go anywhere. The next step is gonna be to mount the one on the other side. And the cool part is if you see this could be a reference point to make sure that you have them both on the same position on this side over here, and then there's the other one right there. So this is gonna be amazing, and looking forward to finishing up. You'll see the sensors mounted in the next video. All right guys, so another thing I wanted to show you guys is now that the sensors are mounted, I wanted to specifically point out a couple of things to you. There's no metal around the sensor or in the sensor's way. There's no subframe around it so that it cannot false detect. I also want you to pay attention to the wires. There is no left or right sensor, as long as whatever sensor you're mounting, the wires are pointing to the outside. Let me show you guys what I mean. This is both sensors already mounted. You can see there's one right over here, and there's the other one right over there. Both of the sensors, this one has a wire coming out this way, and that one has the wire coming out that way. So there is no left or right as far as the sensors go, as long as you make sure that whichever side you mount it on, the wire is always pointing to the outside. We haven't angled them yet, but I want you to take a look and explain to you what I mean here. So once we've got the anchors down on the top and on the bottom, this is a very sturdy mount. We still haven't tightened up these screws yet because we have to angle it. Once we give it the angle, then we'll go ahead and tighten up this one, and we'll tighten up the bottom one as well. This is the wire that's gonna be pointing to the outside. This can always run to the inside, so you can find an existing grommet or something, an existing hole to put yourself through, or you could drill a new one, so that way you can have your wires going to the inside of the car through an existing grommet or something like that. So then again, the tail lights in this particular vehicle are gonna be from this point up. The subframe is from this point down, and there is nothing in the sensor's way that could potentially trigger a false alarm. Once again, guys, this is USA SPEC BSM200, the best blind spot detection system in the market, bar none, the most OEM-like interface. Guys, so this is the angling tool that we include in the package, and you can use this on the right and on the left side. The only thing we specify is you gotta make sure that this particular angle is aiming straight back, right? You see it, you gotta make sure that this particular ruler is aiming straight back along the car body. See, this is a little bit, if I stand here, the arrow is sort of pointing to the right a little bit. So if I come in and I do this to the left and then bring the ruler back over here, okay, so now it's aiming to the inside a little too much. We're gonna go ahead and go back a little bit, and so once we go right there, we're gonna give this ruler this particular angle, okay, and about right there. So now, as you can see, the ruler is pointing straight back along the same line as the car body line. Typically, you would use the rear tires and you would use the tire threads to sort of tell you, but in this particular case, the tires are off. They're over there, so we can't use that for now. But in this particular case, if you stand back here and go like this, you can tell that it's aiming straight back. If you use the line on the floor, it looks like it's aiming on the inside. So be careful what you're using to, right? If you do it there, you're good. So that's the ruler. And so now what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna use it on the left side to give my left angle. As you, the way it is right now, it looks like it's pointing to the inside a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and adjust it, and then we'll show you about the cabling and how that gets ran to the inside of the car. See you guys soon. All right, guys, so here we are. Sensors are fully mounted. They're in the angle that they need to be. We've got our wire coming to the outside, but it's also going in through, we drilled a hole here on the fiberglass and we resealed it. The one on the passenger side, we used the existing grommet here, and so we resealed the area around it. And we've got all of our wiring already on the inside. I want you guys to take a look over here, and this is where we have our wiring already ran. This is part of something else that's happening in the vehicle, but this is all of our wiring here. It's preferably that you bring the sensor cable from the outside. Bring the cable from the outside in, and that way you can make your sensor connections on the inside. This is the driver's side sensor, and over here on this side I have the passenger side sensor. And so this is where we tapped in. This is our reverse light. This is the reverse signal inside the car. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit because you also have to connect the left and right turn signals. But we've got the reverse signal here already tapped in because you're going to need it for the reverse, the rear cross traffic. When the car is in reverse, it's supposed to detect the vehicles 100 feet out. And so one of the other things I wanted to talk to you guys about is you got to pay attention and make sure that in this particular vehicle, your brake lights and your turn signals are pretty much related to each other. If you have your brake on and you put a left turn signal, it'll go off, on, off, on. If you have your brake on and you put the right turn signal, it'll go off, on, off, on. If you don't have your brake on, then it goes on, off, on, off. What I'm trying to tell you is that they use the same 12-volt line for brake and for turn signal. So you cannot tap your left and right turn signals here. This is kind of why we have our wires run already over here. This is the main wire. This is the one that has, this is the plug that has the two turn signal wires. It has your power and ground, and it also has the reverse line, which is a yellow wire that's already all the way back there. So in this particular case, what we may have to do as far as turn signals go, we are gonna have to bring and tap directly into the turn signal of the front of the vehicle. We're gonna use this turn signal because this is a true dedicated turn signal. Always keep that in mind. I'll show you what I mean once we're done and we've got the brake lights back on. Thanks guys, have a great day. All right, so here we go guys. We have the all the wiring has already been ran, and we've temporarily put the LEDs over here. This particular customer wanted a simple installation for his LED. He didn't want to drill any holes on the A pillar. The system comes standard with the silver face LED. What we're gonna do is, since we got a black A pillar, we're gonna be replacing them with the included black ones so that it can match up against the A pillar right there. And so for now, we've got the driver's side over here. As you can see, the passenger side one is still dangling over here, but it's already ran to its location. He wants us to just tuck it in between the dash and the A pillar without having to drill any holes on the A pillar plastic to make it look even better. But this is all customer preference. You guys can let your customers know. We could do simple, we could do flush mounted. So it's really up to them as to what they want to do. But ultimately, what I want to show you guys is a beautiful spot that this Corvette has underneath right here to be able to mount the module and to be able to mount the buzzer, the little speaker that's going to beep whenever the system chimes. So give me 1 second and I'll show you guys in a sec. Here we go. Check it out. This is where the three connectors are. These are the three connectors: the power, the LEDs, and the OBD2. The OBD2 plug is already here. It's kind of just, you know, zip tied really nice and tight to the one that's in there so that we can just flip it around and plug it in there. Once we put this panel back together, it's just gonna go inside. Once we put this panel back together, it's just gonna go in there. But this is the spot where you can mount the module right over there. Let me just focus here. As you can see, the speaker's already there mounted. And so you've got all this space over here. You have all this space right here. Just get yourself an alcohol prep pad to wipe it really good, so that when you plug in the module with the three plugs right over here, you guys can just, you know, kind of flip it, mount it there, and I'll show you guys once it's mounted. We're using the included 3M velcro pad in there. I've already used the alcohol prep pad to clean the plastic on the module so I can put that back on, so I can put that on there. What I'm going to do right now, it's kind of hard to hold the camera with one hand and do the rest with the other hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of stop it right now. I'm gonna plug it all in and I'm gonna mount the module so you guys can take a look. So there you go. There's a module mounted on its side with the plugs coming off to the left. And that's the buzzer right above it. Everything is already mounted, everything is already plugged in. The only thing left is the left and right turn signals. All right guys, so here we go. One thing I wanted to explain about the stoplights in this particular vehicle is you can't grab. See, the way the system is designed, it's designed so that you tap left turn signal, right turn signal, and reverse all in the back. But what's really happening with this vehicle is you gotta be careful because the stop wire is the turn wire as well. So whenever you put the brakes and you turn the turn signal on, what happens is it goes from being on to then off on, off on. If you don't have the brakes, then your turn signal goes on, off. So what you want to do is you want to be careful with cars like this one, where the turn signal and the stoplight are the same wire. So typically you have a turn signal, you have a stop signal, and you have reverse, which is 3 wires. In this particular case, both stop and turn are the same wire. And let me explain to you what I mean. So when you put the turn signal on, okay, so we have the turn signal on. If you would have taken the blind spot detection system and you tap into the left turn signal in this particular case, you're fine. Well, the problem is when you hit the brakes, it's also the same wire. So if you're driving down the street and the system has the light on because there's a car here next to you and you press the brake, it's gonna beep at you. So that's because the wire is the same one. So what we ended up doing in this particular case is we ended up coming, and what we did was we went ahead and we used exactly this turn signal. This is an independent turn signal, which is the one we used. This is why the wires in the BSM200 are so long, because sometimes you have to do that, and it's no problem. In this particular case, we didn't even have to remove the wheel. You just turn this all the way to the right, and right behind here, there's a plastic cap being held by 5 different push pins, which takes no time to remove, and you gain access to the turn signal directly over here. And as far as fishing the wire, there's an existing grommet that brings the wire all the way inside. So that's when it comes to the turn signal. You guys gotta be aware of that and know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're gonna be done with the install, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna be faced with that situation where you're driving down the street and you hit the brake, and the system's gonna beep at you because there's a car there. But the problem is in the back, the turn signal and the the stoplight are the same wire. All right, so next we're gonna show you how we mounted the LEDs. In this particular case, like I said, the customer wanted something very simple. He didn't want to drill any holes, so let me go ahead and take care of that for you guys. This is what the customer wanted. He wanted something very simple. He didn't want anything he didn't want to drill any holes. He didn't want to you know, mess with the A-pillars here, and quite frankly, it looks great. There's the other one on this side. So what the system does is when you turn the car on, okay, so this is off. So when you turn the car on, both LEDs light up. That was the driver's side, right? We're gonna go ahead and turn it back off. So when you turn the system on, the LEDs both light up. And in this case, apply the parking brake, and we're gonna go ahead and put the car in reverse. And this here is the rear cross traffic function. Let me show you what it does. So once you're done with the installation, the best way to test it so that you know that the sensors are in and they're working properly, what you want to do is you want to put the car in reverse, right? And then what you want to do is you want to swing your arm towards the car as if you're pitching a bowling ball. You want to do something like this. So if you're standing behind it and here's where the sensor is, what you want to do is you want to stand back here and you want to go like this. I don't know if you hear it in the background, but basically this is where the LED is, right over there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna swing my arm and I'll string the phone over there so you guys can hear it. Okay, so essentially that's how you wanna go ahead and work on these particular vehicles. That's what you wanna do. Remember, you wanna do that on both sides. You wanna stand back here and you wanna swing your arm towards the vehicle like this, and you gotta have somebody in the front telling you yes, it beeps, and the right LED lights up. You want to do it on the passenger and you want to do it on the driver's side. You stand here again and you swing your arm forward and you go like this, and you can hear the light beep in the light blink in the front, and you gotta hear it beep. That's how you would be testing the rear cross traffic function. So again, guys, this is the blind spot detection from USA SPEC BSM200, and this has been an installation that we did in collaboration with Bob's Car Audio here in Torrance, California. This guy's great. He's been here for over 25 years, and you know, it's a busy intersection. These guys are very excited about this install. The vehicle belongs to a retired fireman, and he's gonna be very excited. Thanks for watching, and if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the description down below. We'll be more than happy to help you and assist you, or you can call us directly. usaspec.com, www.usaspec.com, www.usaspec.com. Again, this has been a collaboration with USA SPEC and Bob's Car Audio. Have a good one.